When European Green Transition listed in 2024, the company was associated with mining assets. Since then, the strategy is pivoting and broadening its industry focus. And to find out more, I'm joined by the Chief Financial Officer, Jack Kelly. So, Jack, is the strategy now to exit the natural resources and mining segment of the portfolio? Because this month, the news is about the potential sale of the Pajala copper project in Sweden.
Hi Sarah, thanks very much for having me. So, look, I think we were pretty clear at IPO what we were looking to do with EGT. So we had a portfolio of green projects in the mining space, and we really wanted to bring them through to value inflection points, and then move them on and monetize them through sale or partnership with third parties. And I think, as you mentioned there, the option agreement on the Bajala copper project with RMC that we announced last week is sort of the first step in that monetization. And I think, at the point of IPO, we also were very clear that we want to move further downstream and really target revenue stage projects in the green economy. So that's really the key focus and where we're allocating all our resources at the moment.
And when you came to market with the Olserum Rare Earth Project in Sweden, which you have in the past called a district scale opportunity, so with the granting of a 4-year license extension and rare earths trending, what's the ambition for this project? Because you have said to me in the past, it's at an inflection point.
Yeah, we have, and I think, look, the work we did last year, we did a 1,500 meter drill program up at Olserum in Sweden. Essentially, what we did there, we had a 43-101 compliant natural resource from the prior operator there, and we really looked to step out from there. So we drilled a number of holes. 350 meters to the northwest at Olserum West, and then 2.5 kilometers west at Djupadal, we drilled another 10 holes, and across that we got really exciting results, really encouraging, and it really shows that there is a district scale system at Alstrom, and we also had pretty positive metallurgical results from Alstrom, and this is critical, I suppose, for an incoming partner, because it shows that the concentrate at Alstrom can simply be processed or refined at a third party's facilities. There's a number of increasing investment across other facilities across Europe now, which we'll look to be able to leverage or partner with down the line. And it basically means that an incoming acquirer of our project doesn't necessarily need to build bespoke processing and refining facilities, which would obviously add significantly to the cost. So that's a really important point. And these activities we undertook last year enabled us to extend the project by 4 years to June 2029, which is a huge positive and gives us, puts us in a really strong position in our monetization discussions.
So how confident are you that you'll have a drilling license for Olserum in 2 years?
Well, look, we won't. Our plan is to monetize or to sell or partner the project, but we see that there's a pretty clear roadmap for an incoming acquirer or partner to get it there. Definitely within that time frame, if not a bit earlier. And there's a number of activities that it needs to be brought through. And as part of any transaction we'll look to do in Alstrom, we would hope to retain a carried interest in this and then benefit when it gets to that point in the near future.
Okay, so how does the recent geopolitical news surrounding rare earth elements impact the Olserum project? I'm assuming in your favour.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think 2025 rare earths have really come into focus across sort of everyone's news feeds. I think it started off with Ukraine earlier in the year, and has really increased over the summer with trade tensions between the US and China. Trade deals between Australia and the US, and then obviously a 12-month agreement between the US and China last week. I think what it really brings to our attention is that there's currently no active rare earth mine in Europe. So at the moment, Europe is 100% reliant on imports of rare earths. And when you look at what rare earths, the importance of rare earth permanent magnets to critical industries such as the defense industry, to the renewables industry, into wind turbines and solar projects, and also into technology companies and technology applications. It's really critical that Europe can develop a secure supply of rare earths to really insulate it from any problems. I think during the summer, it was well publicized that a number of uh, key production lines in critical industries, particularly the automobile industry, came to a halt because access to rare earths was cut off. So I think this really highlights the concern. It highlights the importance of actually having a European based source of rare earths. And they're the sort of conversations we're having with a number of people we're in discussion with at the moment. That Alserum, there's a clear roadmap to getting that to development in the near future.
Okay, I'm going to be devil's advocate now because one of the recent investor updates highlighted the uncertainty and the challenging long term prospects being faced by many businesses focused on the green economy. I'm just wondering how the company is going to continue to evaluate opportunities beyond the green economy. I'm just wondering if this means like another strategic refocus.
No, it doesn't. And to be honest, from what we're looking to do, we actually see it as somewhat as a positive and creates additional opportunities. I think our focus, as we mentioned since IPO, has been to move further downstream, target something that's revenue generating, and ideally we're looking for something that's in a distressed or financially challenged position, where we can go in and turn the business around really and transform it and restructure it, and grow it on the AIM market from that perspective. Our executive chairman, Cathal Friel, has had a number of successes previously targeting revenue stage distressed companies. So he did this successfully with Amrit Pharma and with HVivo PLC. Came in when the businesses were really distressed. Transformed them, turned them around. A number of small bolt-on acquisitions to really grow the business, diversify the revenue stream. So that's really what we're looking to replicate with EGT. And there are a number of businesses across the green space that are at revenue stage. Service based businesses. It's your operations and maintenance businesses, recycling services, environmental services. So there's a huge host of businesses, that are in challenging financial positions, but are fundamentally strong businesses that we're talking to at the moment, and we're really working through our pipeline, looking to transact on something in the near future.
Okay, so with the appointment of Mick Kearney, who's the co-founder of Home Instead Senior Care, with his appointment as a director, is this appointment to help the company explore opportunities in the healthcare services sector?
Yes, look, we're really happy that Mick has come on board last month. So, as you said, Mick brought home instead the senior care franchise to Ireland, and grew it into a hugely successful business with his co-founder. He also previously brought Snap Printing from Australia into Ireland. So, I think Mick is a very well-rounded individual, and has shown that he can really help scale businesses and grow businesses across a range of sectors. I think in our one of our RNSs a couple of months back, we gave an update on some of the green economy opportunities we're looking at, and we also mentioned that there were a number of opportunities in sectors that were, our management team had a strong track record in the past. So obviously Mick would complement that as well, and ultimately we're looking to acquire something and to grow and to scale something where we can generate a strong return as possible for our shareholders, and we are looking at opportunities beyond the green economy, and will continue to do so.
Okay, the company had net cash of £2.9 million on June the 30th. How much cash remains on the balance sheet, and how is it going to be deployed to maximise the shareholder value you referenced there?
Yep, so we reported 2.9 million on the 30th of June 2025. The way we're running this business at the moment is, in a very capital light manner. We have a very low headcount. So we have two FTEs plus a COHL. So we have very low headcount. And then in addition to that, we have no further committed spend to our mining projects. So we won't be looking to spend any more money on those projects. And the key focus really is to sell or partner them and monetize them in the near future. And currently all our resources are focused on finding an acquisition, and as I said, we're working through our pipeline on that at the moment.
Okay, and what's that acronym for? FGEs, what are they?
Yeah, FTE, full time employees. Sorry, so we have two full time employees in the business, and we have exec chair Cahill Friel. So there's not a whole host of people here, and as I mentioned earlier, it's very capital light.
Okay. Finally, any material news before the year end? And I'm talking about the calendar year.
Yeah, well, look, we're working really hard to push forward a number of opportunities, in the revenue generating space, hoping to, get them completed as soon as possible. And then, obviously we have our option agreement that we signed last week, which is very encouraging, and any material news from that we'll continue to update our shareholders, and discussions on the Olserum Rare Earth Project are continuing as well. So when they get to the appropriate time, we'll make updates on that.
Very good. Jack Kelly, Chief Financial Officer of European Green Transition. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks very much, Sarah.